and welcome to Name That President. I'm your host, Noah Minnick, and we'll be playing a game that everyone can play, except I'd like Dr. Young to play, because you're a political science professor, correct?
Right.
So this should be right up your alley. The prize I haven't figured out yet, but, you get the satisfaction of winning. So, first, who's this?
President Trump.
It is the 45th President of the United States. How about this?
Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon. 37th President of the United States. How about this man right here?
I'm guessing that's Chester Arthur.
I can tell you're a professor. It is Chester Arthur, who is the 21st President of the United States. And before he was president, he was the vice president to James Garfield. President Arthur's life may be broken up into many different key events. I hope to better inform you on who Chester A. Arthur was as a man, a politician, a president, and how he did not let people's opinions get in his way. Chester A. Arthur was born in Fairfield, Vermont on October 5, 1829. He was born to William Arthur and Melvina Stone. William was a Baptist preacher from Northern Ireland and had recently emigrated to the United States of America. After graduating from Union College in Schenectady, New York, he was a member at Phi Beta Kappa there while at Union College, and he studied law and taught school. After passing his bar exams in 1854, he joined a New York City law firm. While at this law firm, his career really began to take off. He accepted an African-American client by the name of Lizzie Jennings. Jennings was suing a Brooklyn streetcar company because they forced her off a car reserved for whites. Jennings won the lawsuit with the help of Arthur, and it led to the New York banning of discrimination in public transportation. Arthur was known as a strong abolitionist, and he often took on cases fighting for the rights of African Americans. He later joined the Republican Party in the 1850s and soon became active in local politics. In 1859, he married Ellen Louise Herndon, and then he later soon joined the Civil War and served as Quartermaster General of the state of New York. Chester A. Arthur entered the political ring after the Civil War, where he became more invested in the Republican Party. While involved in politics, during this time, he became very good friends with Roscoe Conkling, who, at the time, was the political boss of New York. He was soon appointed to the job of customs collector for the port of New York City. He was hired for this job by President Ulysses S. Grant. While he was working in the role of politics, according to Thomas C. Reeves, who is a historian and author, he was known as the gentleman boss. He was well known for his part also as a Conkling politician, and Arthur was also well known for his role with the New York Customs House. His job at the Customs House meant that he was able to make an insane amount of money by doing very little work. If a ship were to come into that Customs House that had not paid taxes, he was awarded a percentage of their fees. And this gave Arthur the ability to acquire quite a bit of money. Later, at the Customs House, a lawsuit was put in place against Arthur and many other high-ranking employees. People soon found out that Arthur was using the spoils system to his advantage. There was also a widespread changing of laws and lying that was going on throughout the Customs House. President Hayes, who had been a civil reformer, called for the suspension of the New York City Customs House. Eventually, Conkling and Arthur were suspended, and Arthur later went back to study law. Soon, Arthur made his return to politics, again with Conkling. He was widely known as one of Conkling's protégés during the Republican National Convention of 1880. He also worked extremely hard to get Grant the nomination for president, but when Grant was not elected for the nomination, and James Garfield was, Garfield, trying to make the conservative stalwarts happy, chose Arthur as his vice president. However, the public did not like the choice because of Arthur's shady past with the New York Custom House. This made him an extremely unpopular choice to the public, and the public received him as untrustworthy and unqualified. When Garfield was assassinated, he was terrified and did not want to be president. However, with the help of people like Julius Sand, who we read about in Candace Millard's The Destiny of the Republic, who constantly wrote him Arthur encouraging notes, When he took the oath of office on September 19, 1881, Arthur was determined to not let the public's opinion get the best of him. Surprisingly, his greatest accomplishment in office was against the one thing that he truly enjoyed and had benefited from for many years. This was the spoils system. By passing the Pendleton Act of 1883, he officially got rid of the spoils system. The Pendleton Act established a bipartisan civil service commission, and this commission assured that certain government positions were obtained through competitive written exams. It also assured that government employees could not be removed for political reason. Later, in his presidency, Arthur would be diagnosed with severe kidney disease. He kept it to himself while rerunning for election because he did not want people to feel pity on him. He later re-lost the nomination to James Blaine. He turned away from politics and returned home. On November 19, 1886, Chester A. Arthur passed away at his home after suffering a severe cerebral hemorrhage, which he never regained consciousness from. He was buried in Albany Rural Cemetery in Menands, New York. Chester A. Arthur was not predicted to be a good president. He was often thought of as untrustworthy, though through his hard work and determination, he was able to prove many people wrong throughout his presidency.